Resident Evil is arguably my favorite franchise of all time, and usually when it comes to recommending people where to start in the series, I will always recommend the 2002 version of Resident Evil 1, for the simple fact that I believe it's the definitive experience for Resident Evil. It is the definitive Resident Evil game. However, that being said though, in a game that expands on so many things from the original and really doesn't remove anything and only really added to the game, there is unfortunately one thing I do feel like that was removed that did play a very big important role in the franchise as a whole. Resident Evil 1, I guess, is really the only one I go back and forth which one I prefer. The only thing I'm not a huge fan of in this game, and before you guys come at me, I do not like that they basically removed every single religious text from the Bible. They removed all the biblical themes they had. Resident Evil is similar to Jurassic Park in a way where one of the main themes is playing God, especially the first game where, you know, they're really tampering with nature. You know, you see the spiders have been mutated, the dogs have been mutated, the birds have been mutated. Mankind has been mutated. Literally everything in God's creation has been mutated in this game. So it makes sense that in the lab in the end of the game, there's the puzzle with Adam and Eve, and you have to decipher the code from there. And the use of Genesis in Resident Evil is definitely not just a throwaway line or anything like that. Like, Genesis is the story of creation in the Bible. It's the story of how man is corrupted, and, you know, Adam and Eve are punished, basically, for, you know, going against God and everything like that. And the reason they're punished is for trying to obtain this forbidden knowledge that humans aren't supposed to know, almost like the way Umbrella is tampering with nature. And in this context, knowledge is a great burden that God shields us from, because creation is something only an all-powerful God can do. The mansion incident and everything to come in the franchise is a direct product of not obeying those wishes. And Resident Evil is the story of creation as well. It's the story of a corrupted version of God's creation. And I feel like removing it was just a little lame. I feel like it removes a layer of really important subtext, if that makes sense. I hope I'm articulating that correctly. Like, I don't know, it really just, you feel like they've really, like, fucked up, you know what I mean? Like, you could really feel like the people that are in this mansion, like, really fucked up beyond repair. And I think when you do start looking at Resident Evil 1 through the lens of the Bible, it is very interesting, and I think you'll see more parallels. For example, you'll see in the researchers the virus is comparable almost to Cain's punishment in the Bible, which also comes from the book of Genesis as well. The main line specifically that we could look at is where he says, "All my colleagues who were infected by the virus are dead. To be accurate, they've become living dead. They still wander around." And in the Bible, in the book of Genesis, we know that Cain's punishment is having to wander around the earth for all of eternity, and he can't be killed. God says in the book of Genesis, "You will be a restless wanderer on the earth." And I don't know, I just think like small little parallels like that are interesting once you kind of start like digging into the story from that perspective. Like the punishment of these lab workers for tampering with God's nature and killing their fellow man. The punishment is they are all doomed to walk the earth for eternity, and they can't be killed. And I feel like Resident Evil 1 Remake would have, if anything, had an even cooler impact with this, with the Crimson Heads, because, you know, they're technically dying twice and they just won't stay dead. They literally keep coming back to life. So, I don't know, I just thought it was a really missed opportunity for the remake to also include this as well. I don't know though, that's my take on it. I don't know what you guys think about that. Let me know in the comments if you have similar thoughts, or maybe this is something you never really thought of about the franchise. Either way, I would really love to hear if anyone else has a different interpretation of it. Either way though, thank you guys for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe, because I kind of make weird, odd stuff like this all the time, or at least I try to, but yeah. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Enjoy the day.